Hi, I'm Dave Gardy. We're here on the floor, WebAble TV at CSUN 2016 in San Diego at the WebAble TV booth. And with me is my co-host for this webcast, Albert Rizzi, who is the founder of a company called My Blind Spot. Albert, thanks for joining us.
Good to see you, Dave. How's things going today?
Good. So give us a little overview about your past history. We've interviewed you before, of course, but for the people who are watching from CSUN for the first time, how did you come up with My Blind Spot?
A few years back, about 10 years ago now, I lost my eyesight unexpectedly and was running into virtual walls, literal virtual walls, looking to try to get back into work, assimilate back into mainstream society. And when I found I couldn't use a website or a digital offering mobile app, I started a company called My Blind Spot. And the name was picked because I primarily like to drive all the time. We all have our blind spot. Now I've got one big blind spot.
Excellent. And what does My Blind Spot do?
My Blind Spot works to inspire accessibility for all people. We meet with corporations, nonprofits, community-based organizations to discuss virtual accessibility both on the web and within the work office environments, trying to create accessible options for people with disabilities who are either blind or print disabled.
Tell us some of the projects you've been working on.
We've been working on a few of them, David. We have been working for the past 3 or 4 years with Intuit to make QuickBooks accessible. We have the first accessible version of QuickBooks in its entire history. We've helped people hold on to their jobs. We've actually hired people who work for us now that use QuickBooks, and we're entering into our next phase of work with Intuit to fine-tune some of the bugs we couldn't get prioritized in 2016. We're going to be working on 2017 now. We just came out of a great training program. We've trained some TVIs on how to train end users and small business owners in QuickBooks, and we hope to be launching a whole training program nationally with a number of the BEP programs in New York, New Jersey, California, and hopefully Texas.
Excellent. So what are some of the programs you're going to be working on in the future?
Right now we are working with Morgan Stanley. We're helping them make an accessible website for their consumers as well as their corporate clientele. We are engaged with them to discuss how to create diverse workforces that incorporate accessible work environments. We are working with Cablevision, the very first cable provider in the United States, to create a an accessible digital offering for their mobile applications. We're working with their website teams and trying to get our hands around the whole programming accessibility component that's coming down the pike. We are also opening dialogues with Royal Caribbean. We're going to be working with them on a variety of accessibility projects and a lot more things coming down the pike with state and local municipalities.
Excellent. So give us a perspective. You've been at the show now. You're our co-host here. What have you learned? It just started out. You were here for the keynote yesterday.
Oh, wow.
What are your thoughts on that?
The keynote, Christopher Liu really knocked it out of the park. You know, I was very partial to Kathy Martinez. I thought she was doing a great job in her position, in his position. But I'm really hopeful. I'm really looking forward to the fact that he seems to be able to walk the walk and talk the talk. One of the things that I've always seen happen, and the short time that I've been blind, I've seen things get broken, no pun intended. When you're working with a disability community, you change things up, and sometimes the transition isn't as seamless as we'd like. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like Chris is going to be able to really stay focused on making sure there are accessible work environments across this country for people with disabilities.
Excellent. Well, we're going to come back to you several times during the show, get your perspective. We appreciate you being here. We're talking again with Albert Rizzi, who is the founder of myblindspot.org. That's how you find it on the web, myblindspot.org. We'll talk a little bit more about your past history in our next broadcast, and Albert's going to be doing some interviews here, too, around the show floor. Dave Gardy here for CSUN 2016 from San Diego and the Manchester Grand Hyatt. Stay tuned for more.